If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, but also if you guys want to check me out on my social media, check out the links down in the description, and if you guys want to contribute to our next feature film, you can check out the links down there. Any help would be greatly appreciated, but with that being said, hope you enjoy the video. So this is a video that I have actually been excited to make for a little bit. Me and my wife have been watching Andrei Tarkovsky for the last year and a half, and we've had a damn good time doing it. I'm going to be ranking the Tarkovsky films, and yeah, let's not waste any time. I'm excited to make this. I love doing ranking videos. I know you guys enjoy them, and Tarkovsky's a filmmaker that I've been wanting to talk about for a while because he really became one of my favorite filmmakers. He has a pretty short filmography, only 7 films. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. Let's go ahead and talk about my top 7, well, the only 7 Andrei Tarkovsky films. Yeah, go ahead and do it. So my number 7 is Ivan's Childhood. This is the first film that he ever made, and I would say that this is probably the most fast-paced film that he made. I'm not going to deny that this is a great film. This is a really good film. I really did enjoy it, but I did have issues with it. It was still slow for as fast-paced as it is, and if you know Tarkovsky, you know his films are slow. He is a very methodical filmmaker. He's very slow, but I love that about him. And I feel like, it was his first film. He was definitely, sort of testing the waters and everything. But Ivan's Childhood, though, it is good. I had a hard time following. Of course, this is one of those films that you're going to need a rewatch. I mean, it just is. Just like every other Tarkovsky film. But I don't know. I know a lot of people hold this film up, as one of his best. I think it's just okay. I hate to say that, but even though when I say it's just okay, I do know that it's a good film. But yeah, number 7, Ivan's Childhood. I know some people, I think, compared this to Schindler's List. Actually, I don't want to say that because I don't know if I actually heard that. I think I did, but I don't know. But I mean, Schindler's List is a whole different beast compared to this film. But this film, and this is also one of the shorter Tarkovsky films too. This film is only 95 minutes, and the cinematography is beautiful. But yeah, Ivan's Childhood, number 7. Number 6, we're going with Solaris, and I know this is one that people, even hold up at number 1. I actually enjoy this film a lot, though. I actually think this is a really good film. I love the atmosphere. It is so long. This film is so long. This film is 166 minutes, so it is. How long is that? Is three? No, that's almost 3 hours. Yeah. So Solaris, though, and this film definitely does feel extremely long, very long. And that's just Tarkovsky for you. He loves to hold the shots. I think Lars von Trier's Antichrist, I think it actually, one of the scenes is actually inspired by the opening scene to this. I'm not sure exactly. But I also really did appreciate that I could understand the ending for this, because Tarkovsky's films are very hard to sort of get a grasp of. I picture Tarkovsky to be almost the main event of filmmaking, just not in terms of the best, but in terms of when you play a video game, you got these bosses that keep getting harder. I feel like Tarkovsky's like that final boss because his films are very poetic. They're I wouldn't necessarily say up to interpretation, but yeah, and this is sort of his sci-fi film as well. So it was sort of like his answer to 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I think 2001: A Space Odyssey is the better film. But I actually did a review on this. I did a review for Ivan's Child. I've done a review for every Tarkovsky film except for Mir. But yeah, Solaris, it's a good film. Cinematography is really pretty, and I think it's just cool to see Tarkovsky handle sci-fi. I would have loved to have seen him do something like horror, especially after seeing that one scene in the mirror. Coming in at number 5, we have The Sacrifice. This is his final film that he made, unfortunately, and this film centers around these people that are inside of this house, and World War III or nuclear war basically breaks out around them, and you're sort of watching how that affects them. This film is very good. This film has just an amazing atmosphere. It's one of those films you're not going to forget. It also has, I forget what his name is in the film. I think his name is Erland Josephson. I think so. He is also in Ingmar Bergman stuff. Which anyway, but yeah, this is another film. This was the second film that he made outside of the Soviet Union, and it's just it is. I'm not going to say it's a lot of fun, even though it's very interesting to see these characters interact with each other. But it's very interesting to know that there's all this stuff going on around them, and that's sort of basically what I think keeps this film going. But yeah, this film is absolutely beautiful. Um, it has a very just very good ending. But yeah, the sacrifice is really good, and Kino Lorber doing a really good job with the transfer on this. I think this is a very solid transfer. But yeah, the sacrifice is a really good film. Coming in at number 4, we have Andrei Rublev. Now, this is my wife's favorite Andrei Tarkovsky film, I believe. And this is a long film. This is split up into 8 different parts of painter Andrei Rublev's life. There are scenes in this that are higher up than others, of course. You know, like it is kind of like you could almost set this up as like episodic in a way, like you could just watch like each one a day. But we split this up into 2 parts and watch it over 2 days, and it was a lot of fun. It was a really good film. It's funny. It's very comedic. It's it's got some crazy scenes in it. It's also crazy too that they don't even show Andrei Rublev painting in this. But yeah, this is honestly, I would say this is Tarkovsky at his best. This is definitely, in terms of filmmaking, this is definitely Tarkovsky at his best. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in this film. If you're a fan of films, like just epic films in general, this is definitely Tarkovsky's epic. Such a good film. It's just, and it's also, it's funny. This is probably the funniest Tarkovsky film that he's ever released, and I really did enjoy Andrei Rublev. This is also probably one of his most straightforward films, besides Ivan's Childhood. So yeah, this it helps. It helps to have a straightforward Tarkovsky film, I will say that. But this is also a really pretty Criterion too. But yeah, number 4, Andrei Rublev. Super, super solid film. It's a little slow, but it's pretty good. Coming in at number 3. Now my top 3 have actually changed over the last couple of weeks. This one actually was my number 2, but now it's my number 3. And the film that we're talking about is Mirror. Now I have the Criterion, and I also have this one. I got this one whenever I wasn't sure if I'm pretty sure this is not an official release, but I got it on eBay. But it's a pretty solid transfer, though. It is. It is a pretty solid transfer. But yeah, The Mirror is probably his most autobiographical film that he's ever done, and I'm so glad that the Criterion Collection actually picked this up. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but I do hope to watch it soon, or like this transfer. I've watched The Mirror. I've heard a lot of people complain about this not being that sort of pink hue. I hope it is in the film. We'll have to see. Let me know if it is or not, because I don't know when I'm gonna have a chance to rewatch this. But The Mirror, a very autobiographical of Tarkovsky. This is also another one of his films. It's only 106 minutes, so it's one of his more fast-paced films. But it's still a very good film indeed. I really enjoy it a lot. Like what I feel really accomplished when I can understand Tarkovsky, and the atmosphere in this film is also really good. The cinematography is very good. That's with any Tarkovsky film. But if you've not seen The Mirror yet, you can actually get all of Tarkovsky's Soviet era films on the Criterion Collection. Then you'd have to get the other 2 with Kino Lorber, but they're still really good as well. But Mirror, super solid. I'm so glad that this finally got its Criterion release, and I do hope to check it out soon. Coming in at number 2, and this actually was my number 1. So if it tells you anything, my number 3 a few weeks ago is now my number 1. But my number 2 is Nostalgia. Now, when I watched this, I loved it. I thought this film was just amazing, and plus the lead character kind of looks like my dad. But this was Tarkovsky's first film that he made outside of the Soviet Union. You can definitely tell, because I think it's actually about yes, it is I think it's a Russian poet or a Russian writer that leaves Russia and comes to Italy, something like that. So yeah. And it's like, I mean, that's Tarkovsky for you, that was basically him. And I felt like I could take a lot from this film. I really do. I felt like I could just take so much from it, and I actually really did understand it. It made me feel very satisfied. Plus that the last scene, they hold like the scene for 9 minutes with the candle, which is very impressive. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on. I think the only issue that I have with this film, which I try to look past stuff like that because I get making a film is hard, but the gloves, like when this dude like is on fire, you can sort of see on one scene he's got like the fire protective gloves. But other than that, though, it's a solid film. It is. It's a beautiful film. It's you know, I think it's one of his most underappreciated films. So if you're a fan of Tarkovsky and you've never seen this, definitely check it out because you're probably going to have a lot of fun. It is slow, but that's with any Tarkovsky film. But yeah, I really did enjoy Nostalgia. Enjoyed it a lot. And coming in at my number one, and I feel like this is kind of a, it hurts. I feel like this is sort of a cliche, but my favorite film by Andrei Tarkovsky, and it's just thinking about it, you know, thinking about it, I enjoy it, and I remember how much fun I had watching it. Stalker. This film, I love the soundtrack, I love the cinematography, I love the color, I love the characters, I love the premise, the story. It's another one of his most straightforward films, but it's really slow. It's very long. I love like how they set up the intermission where it pops up again, Stalker Part 2 or whatever. This film has it all. This is quintessential Tarkovsky right here. And I do believe that this is probably the film that most people have seen from Tarkovsky. But this film is, oh man, this film is absolutely fantastic. And this is another one that I hope to rewatch soon. I would actually love to just rent out a movie theater for a day and just show like Barry Lyndon and Stalker, you know, and just sort of rewatch these films. I love Stalker. I love it a lot. And if you don't know what it's about these three guys that go into this zone. And when you go into this zone, you can go to this place, and it basically grants you everything. Or not everything, but your deepest desire when you go there. It's a very poetic film, and it's a film, especially with its ending, that is very up for interpretation. I'm not going to spoil anything else, but this is quintessential Tarkovsky. And I do feel like this is the essential film to watch by Andrei Tarkovsky. If you're going to watch any film, definitely start out with this one because I think this film is a lot of fun and it's really good. It's a little slow, but it's a lot of fun. And I think this film is a masterpiece. This film is absolutely fantastic. And this might be the film that killed Tarkovsky because if you don't know, they shot this film like 3 different times, I think, or 2 different times. I think it was 3. I think they messed up the other 2, and the third one was the charm. Something like that with the film. And yeah, so there's a lot of crazy stuff that happened with this film. Like apparently a lot of the people on the set ended up getting cancer or something. It's horrible, but yeah, Stalker. It's got some pretty interesting behind the scenes stuff. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, maybe subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below what your Tarkovsky ranking is. I'm glad I could finally make this video. But anyway, I hope you're staying safe out there. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time.